Okay, so today is going to be 8/6/2019, which is a Tuesday. I took two trades today and I'm up roughly $470. So there wasn't really a watch list today because nothing really had news, nothing was really gapping up or gapping down. So kind of on my watch list was AMD. We had SQ, TTWO, the Qs, and then the SPY. So I wasn't really expecting too much from the day, but we did have SQ here, and if you look at SQ, we had a pretty nice trend happening. So as you can see, stock, nothing's really good in the pre-market action. So when I see this first candle put in, I'm not really interested in the trade because I'm honestly thinking it's going to chop out and it's going to be a horrible day today, horrible price action. So that's what I was expecting. But we get this huge sell-off coming down all the way down here, which was actually very nice to begin with. Now, when we come here on SQ on this candle, as you can see, there's a pivot level here. So we have a pivot and we test, retest, third retest. Now after the third retest and it starts getting bought back up, I'm expecting this to go up a lot higher and possibly come back and retest, VWAP and other moving averages above head. So I get long. If you look at the overall trade, I'm not too happy with the fact of where it is I got long. I basically got long here at 64.78. So right in here in this candle, and it comes up, kind of retests here, and then kind of just starts pushing up, and then I basically just sell everything at 64.95. So I make 17 cents with 500 shares, which gave me $85. I just wasn't liking the price action. I just, the day in itself just wasn't a day for me to try to get an extended move, especially on a counter trend move. And it ended up being that I was somewhat right. We kind of got a little push up here, but it does start to roll. So let me show you all the time frames that I was kind of watching to kind of get this trade started. So here, if you look at the 3-minute, these PSARs are still going on a downtrend. These little dots right here, still going on a downtrend. This candle pushes up to the 13 EMA and it starts to reject. So we have this rejection here. This candle makes a new low here on the 30-second. So it makes the new low. It kind of just looks like it's going to roll over. So they had this huge sell-off here, a bounce off the pivot level, and then it kind of just looks very soft, about to roll over. And also on the 5-minute, we were heading into the 9 moving average right here. So all these things are happening, and I'm expecting kind of a sell-off. So when we get here, it's looking like it's going to sell off. I'm looking at the 3-minute, I'm looking at the 30-second chart, both at the same time. We have this little consolidation. Now we get this little sell off here, and I'm really interested here, but I didn't want to chase it too low. And we have this tiny little pullback here on the 30-second chart, very, very small pullback. And as it starts to roll over, I'm getting in short, and this is basically a momentum / trend trade. And what I mean by that is I'm getting in short here. I'm throwing my stop at 64.76, so very, very tight stop. I need this thing to sell off right now because I'm just not liking the overall price action on the day, on the overall market. So I had a very, very small, tight leash. I don't want to see a stock, sell off and then come back, sell off, come back, sell off, come back. No. So once we had this little sell off here and a little pullback, now it's time for it to go, and it does exactly that. So I'm short. We have this move coming down. I get scaled out from 500 to 400 shares. So I sold 100 shares. As we have this little pullback here, I add to the position, driving my price down from 64.65 down to 64.44. So roughly right there is a new average, and then we get this move down here. So I start scaling out, and then we kind of bounce off here, and I was okay with it. I was looking for another place to add to the position, which was right here. So as it starts to roll over, I add to the position, go from like 300 shares back up to 600 shares, double my position size, have a new average at 63.82. So this comes down to 63. Actually, that's the break even. New average is at 64.13. Sorry about that. So 64.13. That's the new average as we come across here. We get this tiny little sell off here, but then it just keeps getting popped back up, and then I end up stopping out all my share size at 63.96. So that's okay, but if you kind of look here, we kind of get this move happening, which I didn't really notice at the time, but I notice now. So a little trend move you could have added here as it broke through, but then it also didn't work. Now the trade I saw that I just missed was this right here. So as it comes, sells off, and it kind of gets bought back up, we kind of double bottom here. It sells right, it gets bought back up to this pivot level. Once it gets here, it's a very interesting spot for the stock. So as you can see here, it bounced here, and then it came up, sold through it. Now it's coming back from the bottom side to retest that level. Retesting, it most likely could fail, which is exactly what we got. So I saw the stock, and it just happened so fast. This candle was just put in, and it kind of just sold off so fast, and I wasn't going to get into the trade, down here and throw a stop, all the way up here. It doesn't make any sense. Bad risk reward. The entry was somewhere near that pivot line, somewhere up here in this candle, roughly at 64.20s around there, to keep your stop loss very, very small, to help you with profit loss ratios. So as you get this little sell off here, and it's a little tiny consolidation again, you're adding right under that level. So you will be adding into there, right there. You could add again right here. Try to get another move down. So you can add a few spots, and then kind of have this little sell off, and then this little gets bought back up, and then again should be adding right here. Should be adding as it starts to roll over. You should be adding. Now here I kind of noticed that the stock wasn't really being able to sell off, and I didn't like that. So if I was in the trade, I probably would have taken most of the position off. I think I said 63, somewhere here. Just wasn't really liking that price action, and as you can see, it just gets bought back up from that level. So we missed the first leg. We missed. Didn't trust the stock. Didn't think I was going to get a move like that. But we were able to catch a little bounce off a pivot level. We were able to catch, another leg, the second leg down, and then we had just missed this third leg down here on a retest of the pivot. But always remember that pivot levels are very, very interesting, and stocks are going to most likely move away from those pivot levels. So it's nice to take a trade as close to those pivot levels to keep your profit loss ratio as tight as possible. So up 470 on the day. No good trading day, but we'll come back tomorrow. Hopefully you got some stocks on watch.